What's up, you guys? It's Michelle here. Thanks for joining me today and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a couple of patron spreads, so stay tuned for a fun plan with me. Alright, first up is Stephanie, and Stephanie didn't have any special requests this month, so I pulled out the parenting sticker book from the Happy Planners release, and I'll be sure to include my affiliate link in the description, and I always appreciate your support when you shop through that link at no extra cost to you. But I haven't used this sticker book, and I thought it would be pretty for Stephanie's spread before we go into summer. I love these large florals that are in here, but right now I'm just kind of looking around for something to go in the sidebar, and I am doing a voiceover for this video because I filmed it when we were in Florida, just for this first spread. The next one is not a voiceover, but I decided on this in the sidebar with the kind of the rose gold trim around it. Thought that was really pretty. And I like these like watercolory quotes that just have a big word. You can either use them vertically or horizontally, but I'm going to put this one in the sidebar that says focus on the now. And then I want to get some of those really pretty florals. There's several pages of these, and I used almost all of them for this spread, but I just thought they were so pretty and made such a statement, and since this is the big Happy Planner, they're perfect for it. So I'm going to start with these just to cover up that little whiteout where it said note right there, just peeking onto the page, and then trim those off. Then I've got a scrap I'm going to use up here coming off of our quote. And I want to use one of these large florals down here at the bottom, or several of them actually. Just trying to decide which one will kind of fit the best, because I don't want them to be all the exact same height. So I'm going to use that really long one going over toward the left, and then this one down below that's shorter, has a little leaf on it, and then just trim that off. But we had so much fun in Florida. We stayed a little over 2 weeks, and we extended our stay by a couple of days even, and then we got home on Wednesday, and I've just been trying to get caught up, get unpacked, get everything washed and all of that. Alright, so I took up that flower off the quote because I found these little smaller ones that I thought would work better. So I'm just going to trim this in half and then use a little bit up there where I took that one off, and then put the rest on the other side. Just looking for a little bit more to fill in because I want it to be nice and full. So I found these little smaller ones. I'm going to use part of this up on our quote, and then this little marigold color one up there also. And then I decided that I did want a little bit of a larger floral there, the scrap that I had originally. I'm going to move this down here just to have like varying shapes and sizes and styles in the florals, and I've got just a tiny leaf scrap I'm going to add here. All right, almost done. I'm going to use another of these smaller flowers right up here on the right side of our quote. And then I'm just taking the stem off of that so I can use the other part of that flower there on the other side, because I want a nice variety of all the different colors of flowers mixed in together. I think this book is just so pretty and soft and kind of soothing. So I'm just moving little scraps around so there's not too many of the same colors right beside each other. And then trying out this little stem also. So I did have a little bit of trouble with the boxes in this book because they are formatted for the new parenting layout, which I haven't tried yet. I really want to try it. It looks like a great planner. But I found these, or had these with me, the pastel functional stickers from Live Love Posh, and I'll include my affiliate link for Live Love Posh also, and you can use code Michelle10 to save 10% off on anything other than Posh Boxes, bundles, or sets. So I decided to go with this light peach and the light mint green because that is very similar to the boxes in this book, but they're just a little bit lighter. I think they worked out great though. But I'm going to kind of mix them with some of the others that came in the parenting book, and now I'm just trying to figure out where to put this full green box. I really wanted to use a couple of those circles that have the pattern on either side, but I tried them and I couldn't get them to work. I was trying to see if this little patterned like graph grid orange box would be cute layered under something, but I decided not to use that. And here's where I did grab a couple of functional stickers, or at least this circle in the peach. See how it's peach, but it's a little bit darker than the peach in the Live Love Posh pastel book. But I'm going to layer that off of this for just an extra little space to write an appointment or a chore or task, something to do. Now I'm just flipping through and seeing what else I can try. So like I said, these boxes, see how they're shaped a little different. So I'm going to use this right here and just trim it off, have it sliding out that way. Just using light pressure with my Fiskars craft knife or detail knife. And then I was trying to see if I could use the rest of that somewhere else, but I'll just save it for later. Then I already had this little green slender box pulled out. I'm going to put that with it underneath there. And over on the right side, go ahead with this full peach right here in the middle on Friday. And then I'm going to do the same thing with one of those peach slender boxes from the parenting book. Just have it sliding out and trim it off. I was trying to see if I could use that somewhere, you know, like clustered with it, but it's just a little bit too wide to do in the same section up there. So now I'm trying it with this, I'm trying the extra scrap from that yellow that I used over on the other side, seeing how that will look. But I didn't like that pale yellow with that brighter mustard yellow with that pale peach. Just wasn't that cute of a combo, so I'm going to use this part of this green and have that sliding out instead with that large peach, and just start a little cluster here. And then I'd like something else to go with it, so I'm going to try one of these little flag shaped boxes. But I thought it would look cuter underneath that box. So I moved that up a little bit and it just fits perfectly right there in that yellow. And the yellow and the green and the peach looks cute together. And now I just pieced together a sort of like almost a pale blush or cream color to go with that yellow up on the far right. The orange. All right, I'm thinking that's going to be all of the boxes for now, so I'm going to go ahead and draw lines here on Monday with my Happy Planner stencil. And I'm going to add some here on Wednesday also in the middle section. And I'm using these pens that lately, I always use a ballpoint pen that has sort of a finer point, but these are from U brands, and I have them linked in my Amazon shop. I just like that they make a nice light clean line. And now I'm adding up some up here on Thursday at the top, and of course in that larger box, and trying to figure out where else I could use some lines. And I'm going to go here at the bottom on Sunday. And I know it looks kind of like funny diagonal having them like that at first without everything filled in, but it all balances out after it's all decorated and filled in. So I'm going to use a couple of these little flags just to jazz up our boxes, just mostly for decorative elements. Trying to figure out where I want to put the peach. And then I want to use a green, the light mint green over here on the full peach box. Okay, so now I'm pulling back out the pastel functional book from Live Love Posh because I decided I wanted to use a square green box here. And I was looking around for bullet points. There aren't any circles or any just full-on bullet points in this book, so I decided to cut the edges off of these little headers and use them in the green. Just put them right up against the line like a little half circle. So a couple up here on Monday to give Stephanie lots of function, and on Tuesday at the bottom. And then after this, I'll be able to get to quotes and decorating. So I'm going to add some more over here on Saturday, since all we have are those two smaller boxes. And up here at the top on Friday. Okay, so I want to go ahead and use the other quote like the one in the sidebar. And this one says big plans, and I'm going to use it horizontally, just trying to figure out where it would look best. And I think it looks really cute right here. And we have a nice balance of those big quotes on either side of the page. And here is where I saw these in the peach, the little headers. There were some on that other page, but they had writing that was too far to the end, not enough left over to cut off, so I didn't see these until after. I'm just going to take up one of each of the green and do a green and a peach. So I like that little pop of peach with it. Since our boxes, most of the peach boxes we use are really, really light in color. Just kind of evens it out to me, like a good representation of all the colors. And I would just use a little undo to pick that up, and I have that linked in the video. It's also in my Amazon shop, but it's an adhesive remover that works wonders for picking up stickers without damaging your paper or the stickers. So now I'm going to start with these larger flowers in all the, like the big open spots. So I'm going to use that there. And now I'm cutting apart kind of a little cluster. And have that on the side there. And then I'm trying this on the other side, but I do want a little bit more like varying heights. So I'm going to cut these little like blooms apart. So they kind of just look like wildflowers, and put those right here. And now just using another of the smaller flowers to fill in there. And now some more little scraps over on this side. Kind of want to fill it all the way across, or most of the way anyway. So I want to have also, I have some flowers up here in this open section, so I'm using the really large peach one. I'm going to trim the end of this off a little bit so it sits flat against the line. Ended up scooting that over a little bit like that, and I want to fill in between there with some of these shorter, fuller sets. So I'm going to trim these apart so I can use them, you know, more than just in one place. Trying to get that in there just right. And trim off that little stem. And these will fit perfectly over here on the right, like they're kind of peeking out from the side. And then more little scraps over here. And then some of the little shorter flowers also to fill in toward the bottom, to make it look more full, the bottom of our little section. This spread did take me quite a while. I edited out some of it so it wouldn't be too long, because it still is a little bit of a longer video for a spread, but I just wanted it to look just right for Stephanie, and I think it's turning out so cute. Got a little scrap to go here. All right, now we're going to move over to the other side of the page and use that scrap coming out from the side. And I want to use another large flower over here. Aren't these just so pretty? Just kind of tucked that into that, under that quote. Now I just want to fill in this entire little block. And just using a little whiteout to lift that quote up so I can tuck that in there. So it looks like it's just blooming up from that quote. And I've got another scrap right here. Now right here is where I decided that it was just too much up there at the top. So I'm going to move most of that over here to the right side. And most of it came up all together, kind of stuck together, so that was good. It made it easier. But I'm just going to put that right here. That way our larger flowers just kind of continue across the middle, you know, with the boxes and functional stickers between them. So I'm trying to figure out where to put this. All right, and just want more of those larger flowers to fill in. It was nice to get back home to my craft room. Of course, I wasn't ready to leave the beach because I hardly ever am, but it was nice to get back to my craft room and all of my supplies and everything. So I'm going to do a little sticker surgery on this cluster, so I can use just this part. It's filling in nicely. I've got some more of those tiny little flowers to use just in between to fill in across the bottom, or the bottom of that middle section. And for balance, I want to have a little bit over here in the right corner. So I'm just going to use this smaller flower here, or a little cluster of 2 flowers, and trim that off. And some of these little blooms with it, just shorter though. And I think it looks nice and balanced like that, with just a little bit on that corner also. Then I'm going to put a couple of the larger scraps up here at the top, mixed in with the smaller pieces. I just decided I needed to scoot that over, since we don't have bullet points or anything over on that section, and use these smaller pieces there. Teeny tiny scraps to fill in. Just going to go ahead and finish filling in all the way across the top. Okay. Another of the tiny flowers to go there with that side cluster or corner cluster. And then I found a smaller quote to go here, but it doesn't fit all the way in there, so I'm going to just cut it apart and do it on 2 lines. And this is where I decided to go ahead and fill in that larger box on Tuesday with some lines. I almost always do put lines in those. They just look a little bit too open and blank without. Plus it's nice to have a little structure to write your plans in. And then this is a little square, like decorative sticker that's got a quote also, with a little bit of that foil. And I decided to use some of these strips that are in the book that are just really pretty, like ombre watercolor, and they've got a little hint of that rose gold foil in them. It's hard to see on camera, but it looks really pretty in person. And some over here under these flowers, and I decided to go in with a second strip and just trim it off right where it's running into that circle. Just going to kind of tuck it under there so it looks nice and clean. And that's when Millie wanted to get up in my lap. She said hello. She wanted to see what's going on. She said, "Are we getting crafty?" And then I'm going to add another strip over here to finish it off. And then just want a couple of more flowers at the bottom. Got a little leaf scrap I'm going to add onto that. Coming in with one of the larger flowers up here, but cut really short underneath our quote, and then one of the small. Trying to figure out where to put this. Just trim it off so it fits in there nicely. Decided to do it over on the right side. Then another small scrap over here. And tiny scrap there. All right, that's going to be Stephanie's spread using the parenting sticker book. I think it turned out so pretty and perfect for spring. I hope you love it too, Stephanie. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, next up is Gianna, and Gianna didn't have any special requests for this month, so she just told me to do whatever I wanted. So I'm going to use this gorgeous new sticker book from the Happy Planner. It's from the spring release, and it's called In the Moment. And it's just got beautiful colors, and I love these flowers. These really large ones, and there are smaller ones too, but this is a big Happy Planner, so I think these will be perfect. And I'm going to pair them with some really old large quotes. This is from the Big Memby Sticks Better Together, I think was the name of it. So I'm just going to use some of these words and make quotes in those colors. And I'll be sure to include my Happy Planner affiliate link, and I always appreciate your support when you shop through my link at no extra cost to you. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a couple of these words that I've picked out. We're going to use Dream in the sidebar, and it is like this perfect color of like an orangey red in these flowers, and then this is the like that mustard color. So I'm going to put it right up here. And I'll do some flowers there. I'm going to go ahead and use this shine. I'm just going to use the part that says shine right here. And these stickers are really nice and thick, so I'm just going to cut it on this. Okay. And then I'm going to fill in flowers here too. And then the next quote I'm going to use, I'm going to take off this B and then use kind, but I'm not sure where I'm going to do that yet, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this. Let's go ahead and fill in our sidebar. Let's use some of these smaller ones first for the sidebar. And I want to get a little bit of that reddish color in there, so I'm going to use one of these little ones. Okay, and down at the bottom, let's do one of those really big clusters. Okay, let's get some of this blue in there with a little smaller blue one. Put this on the side of the D. Okay, and let's put this here. with, let's do a little yellow. I'm just going to turn it the other way. Okay, and now let's get something down here in the yellow. Let's actually do the blue, since that's right across from where I want to put that. Okay, and how about a pink? I'm going to kind of cut it in a curve to go around that E. And let's put this on the R. Oh, I love that. This is so much fun. Okay, and we need a little bit more yellow down here. And let's do this on the A. And a little pink up here. Got another little blue. Okay, maybe one more small one here in what color? The light blue. Okay, perfect. I love the sidebar. Now let's work on this section. Okay, let's do that there. With one of the red. And maybe some of the, like some of these right here. Let's do this with the yellow. We'll do that over here since it's kind of leaning that way. Okay. And some of these. Scoot that over a little bit and use this little pink from that right here. Okay, and let's do that just like that. And we'll put this right in here. And we need something there. What color? Let's do maybe a little pink one. Oh my goodness, I'm loving this so much. Okay, let's do the rest of this over here. and something here in maybe the lighter blue would be good. Okay, let's grab this. Take that off and save that. I'll be able to use that somewhere else. That there, and then the little pink one there. Okay, and now we need something over here kind of like that. Let's do the pink and the blue. I'll do those right there. And we'll do this here. Oh, I think it's looking so cute. I've got a little blue scrap I can use too to fill in somewhere. We'll put it right here beside this red. Okay, and we just need something here. Like that. And we'll do this over here. And I want to fill in across the top too, just with really small scraps, just to enclose that entire section. Okay, we'll do this here. And the rest of it here. A little leaf there with that. It's another little leaf scrap. Let's get back to these kind of flowers. So I've got these two little blue ones that I can use from a scrap. And this little blue one here. We need some red. Put that there. I've got a teeny scrap here, and then I want just a little green leaf scrap there, and we're good to go on this. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's use a long box over here. Not quite that long though. There's some that are a little shorter. Like these. Let's do this note to self. And let's get a blue. Actually, I think I like the blue better with it because it's just too much of that color. So let's use that instead. And it already has the little flowers on it too. And I might not do the other quote. I might not need it because these are pretty substantial. Let's do do some of these wavy boxes. I think I'll do the light blue right down here. Okay, and let's do this wavy mustard box sliding out that way. Okay, let's do this blue double box. Okay, I think I'm going to just do it like this and do a little squiggly box with it and then piece it back together. So let's see, what color do we need? Probably something pink. Or no, let's go with the reddish color. Okay, and then I've got this that I can cut a little slender part off of to piece it back together. Okay, let's do it like that. I don't know, I think maybe one squiggly box per side. I'm gonna take this one up because it just starts to look too busy if you do too many with other shapes, I think. Okay, now we do need something light blue there though in a regular box. Okay, so let's do this mustard. I just found this in a different book right here, sliding out. And then we need something over here in probably the red. I think I'm gonna stick to the blue, the mustard, and the corally red. Okay, we could do this, and I want to put a small box with it just so it's not just like that though. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put this little pink box with it. I pulled this out of Every Week Needs a Fun Day. But I'm going to trim the little flower part off. So that like that, and then I found this box that's the same color as that in the color coordinate sticker book, and I'm going to put that up here just for a little extra function and interest. Okay, and then I do want to add a box here. I could maybe do one more squiggly box. What do we think? In the light blue. Okay, that's going to be all of our boxes. The rest is just going to be, I'm going to go ahead and add lines, bullet points, and just some flowers here and there. So definitely we need some lines in this box. Okay, and we will add some here. And then over here, let's do here and here. Okay, I'm thinking let's do like the goldish color for bullet points. Yeah, I think that looks pretty. And we need some up here and here. Okay, so something, yeah, we are gonna need another quote. So I think what I've decided to do is cover these lines up and do that be kind quote, the be of this and the kind here, and then we'll have 3 large quotes. So I'm just gonna cover those up and then I'll maybe add a few up here. Okay, so I've just got some sticker paper here that's cut to size. Okay, so let's do a little sticker surgery on this quote. Okay, I scooted those down because I think I'm going to have something decorative there. Okay, so let's have maybe one of these birds right here. And just a little flower action there. I like the bird next to the dream. That's really pretty. Okay, let's do this yellow. Kind of hanging down right here. And we'll just do a few of the plain flowers. Okay, and let's do part of this blue. And part of this here. I don't think I do like this. It's a little busy. Okay, and let's do this red leaf up here. with the blue scrap. And then we'll do one more little flower here. And the rest of it over here. Actually, let's do this little scrap and then we'll do it right here. Okay, now we need something in the corner here, and I think we're about to wrap it up in this blue and yellow. Let's put this up here. Oh, I didn't get that straight. Okay. And we'll get a little red flower here. Okay. Maybe one more little flower scrap here in pink. And we'll put the rest of this up here. Okay, let's drop off some black words, and I think that's all we need. I love how colorful it is. It's so much fun. Okay, so we will do a to-do up here. And right here we could do get it done. And don't forget here. All right, that's going to be Gianna's spread. I think it's so much fun. I hope you love it too, Gianna. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I put these two patron spreads together. And thank you so much to my patrons for your support. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.